All right, folks. I'm here to talk to you a little bit about a program that I've put together that I've been working on for a long time. Some of the scripts in this application are something that I've been using for 10 or 12 years. And up till now, they were a collection of batch, VBA, PowerShell, and HTA files that I had set up to make it easier to automate some computer repair processes. And now I've actually got it put together as a real distributable program that I'd like to show you today. Okay, so the main screen of Blackstar will be the system information. When you first open up the program, this is what you'll see. And here will just be a lot of general information about the machine, just stuff that you'd like to have easy reference to if you were to be repairing a machine. Under the Utilities tab, you will find a bunch of pre-installed utilities that do install during the initial setup. If you're using the portable version, which I will release eventually, none of this will work until you run the initialization, which we've got right here. But for now, everything here seems to work great. All these programs, like I said, are pre-installed. Just click on the links and they'll open up here. WizTree for seeing disk space usage. CCleaner for startup cleaning, auto runs again for startup cleaning, Process Explorer for finding runaway tasks, and the tweaking.com Windows repair tool, which actually does not install during the initial download because it is much larger than the rest of everything. But if you click on that, it'll automatically download it, and then it will try to run it. And if it can detect that it's already installed, it will just run, so you don't have to worry about anything on that. Just ask if you want to download and run tweaking.com Windows repair. Skip that for now. When you go to the Diagnostics tab, same situation with a lot of programs that I like to use. HDTune for hard drive diagnostics, Windows memory diagnostic. I was actually I'm still working on a way to put memtest86 into the boot menu on the machine so you don't have to use the Windows memory diagnostic, as it's not very good. But for now, this will do. You click on Event Viewer, that will open up Event Viewer so you can go through and find the memory diagnostic results. Blue screen view just for reading memory dumps, heavy load for running stress tests, and firmware for running video card stress tests. And all of this stuff is already installed. Just click on it, it'll open. Everything's set up already. Again, you might see some lag when I'm running through this, and that's because I am running this on a non-native higher resolution on a 9-year-old MacBook on an external monitor in a virtual machine. So it's not exactly up to snuff running like this. In fact, it runs quite good when I'm not hooked up to an external monitor, but I think that's just pushing the system a little bit right here. So those are the 3 tabs here across the top. Now, down the side, we have the run initialization link, which you don't need to do if you run the installer. That'll be more important for the portable version. But if you do run the initialization, it will reinstall the software under those 2 tabs, and it will create a new system information HTML file. So all you have to do is reload the program, then everything should work right there. Create restore point is pretty straightforward. It will just open up this script that will ask you if you want to. Actually, first thing it does is it sets system restore maximum disk space usage to about 3%, which seems to be enough for most computers. Then it'll ask if you want to delete the old restore point, so we'll go ahead and hit yes on that. Then we'll create a new restore point, yes. And then this just runs a PowerShell script that runs in the background that'll install or set up the new system restore point. And you'll see here in a second that once this is done, it will actually open up the system restore window as well. And then you'll see that we do have a new custom named restore point with today's date and time. So now we see that there. We got a Blackstar checkpoint at on 11/02/2019 at 12:42:49. I like to have the dates and times just so I know if I screwed something up, what I can go back to. Malware tools and usability software are very, very similar utilities. Malware tools will allow you to install anti-malware software. You'll see the button here for install, update, run, and uninstall. Basically what this does is it generates a batch script that runs Chocolatey, which is a Windows package manager, to reinstall or update the software. If software is already installed, it'll just run an update and then run it. And if things are up to date, then it'll just run it. So this was a pretty difficult script to get right, but everything's working flawlessly now as far as I can tell. You also have the ability to uninstall software from this window so you don't leave anything behind on customers' machines. Usability software is basically the same story, just minus the uninstall button. You'll see there's some stuff checked here, and this is the stuff that I install on almost every computer that I work on, so I decided to keep some of that there. I've got a lot of the basic usability stuff, and again, this is all completely customizable because it's all batch and HTA files. It's all pretty straightforward, and it's pretty plain language-wise, and I will be making more videos where I go into these files and show you how to modify them to your own purposes. Since this program is completely open source and everything is uploaded, you'll be able to see everything there. Cleanup script is, again, quite simple. The cleanup script will first ask if you want to run it just file system integrity stuff. We'll go ahead and hit yes on that just so you can see what it does. So at first it's going to open up DISM. Again, this is Windows 10. On Windows 7 it will run an SFC check instead. This tool has not been thoroughly tested on Windows 7, although I have used it before and it seems to work. I'm not going to keep testing it. I'm not going to make sure that it's going to work. It does work fine on Windows 8. Obviously, where it says the version number here is not going to be the same on Windows 8, but all the tools should work just fine. So the cleanup tool will open auto runs. It will open msconfig and services.msc. In auto runs, I like to just come into here, uncheck unnecessary scheduled tasks. That's about the only thing I use this utility for. And then under msconfig, I like to go to the services tab, hide all Microsoft services, sort it by running, and then I can compare it to the services.msc and just set services that don't need to be there to manual, just to make sure the boot time on the computer is as quick as possible. Under CCleaner, I mostly just use it for custom clean up temp files, and then under tools, startup, you will see a list of the startups on the computer, and I like to do things there as well. Under browser plugins, I used to use this a lot more often, but it's just not very good for modern browsers. It does find Internet Explorer add-ons, and it's pretty good at disabling those, but nobody's using Internet Explorer, and if you find someone who is using Internet Explorer, you should be trying to convince them to use something else at this point. So that's just the basic startup cleaning stuff. Next line is Windows Update, and obviously that one's going to be very simple. It just starts Windows updates. Again, this is a virtual machine, so you will see that there are updates. I don't care. We'll get to it later. Check browsers is a script that will check for and run Chrome, Firefox, Internet Explorer, Edge, Brave, Opera, and Vivaldi. Some of those browsers I've literally never seen on a customer's machine, but I do know that they are popular-ish. So yeah, just click on that. It'll open up browsers. I have not hard-coded it because it's hard-coded. I have not put every browser in the world in here. I also don't believe that it's very necessary when you're dealing with customers coming into a computer repair shop or calling in a service technician. It doesn't seem to be that big of a deal. Let's go ahead and close that stuff. Oh, it's still running. Oh, yeah, this machine's lagging pretty bad. It's not liking this higher resolution, but it is trying to load 5 web browsers at once because that's just what I have installed. Alright, so under that next you'll see Create Review Link. This is a pretty neat one that I came up with. When you click Create Review Link, what it's going to do is it's going to open up a web browser. It's going to take you to the Google Place ID Finder. And in the Google Place ID Finder, what you're going to want to do is just search for your own business name in there. And then you're going to click OK here. It's going to bring you to a page, and it's going to put a nice little shortcut on the desktop to a review link on Google. So let's let that fire up. Again, apologies for the speed. It's just virtual machine. Maybe my internet's doing something. There we go. Alright, so let's go ahead and find a place that I'd like to go, and we'll leave a fantasy review for it. I had a good joke here. It's gone now. It's not that good of a joke. This is a place I'd always like to go to. One day. Alright, so what we want to do is copy that place ID, hit OK here, then it's going to pop up asking for the Google Place ID. And what it does is it creates this shortcut here on the desktop. And when you double click on that, it's going to just take you straight to the ability to make a review on Google. I think I've already opened that twice. Great. My Firefox is choking here. Recording video and running a virtual machine and processing audio. It's not stoked about this. Alright, so like I said, it'll just bring you straight to the Google review page. I'm not logged into a Google account, so it's going to ask me to log into a Google account. I'm not going to do that. I haven't actually been to the Betty Ford Center yet, so I'll leave that to the pros. Under that is the quality assurance script. This is the second most complicated script after the malware tool script, and the malware tool script is only as long as it is because it also has the uninstall, so it's pretty much just the backwards of the first half of the script. Quality assurance, on the other hand, is all handwritten individual stuff, and it's quite large and complex. However, I'll go ahead and walk you through it right now because it's the quality assurance is the most important part of computer repairs. So we'll go ahead. It initially tells you to disable antivirus. I have this in here as just I need to get rid of it, actually. I used to have this script that would delete most recently used entries in Windows, and sometimes Windows would, antivirus would freak out about that. It doesn't seem to be as big of an issue anymore, so I can probably get rid of that at this point. First it wants a name. So we're working on Boy Fakerston's computer. So order number is 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, my battery is charging. Has the system been rebooted twice? It has been rebooted so many times. Is the system clean? It's a virtual machine, squeaky clean. System fans functional? Screaming. They are not happy with what I'm doing on this computer right now. Keyboard and mouse responsive? Yes, I do have keyboard and mouse. Optical drive play video? I do not have optical drive in here. So I'm going to hit cancel. When you hit cancel on a line, it basically tells it doesn't apply towards the machine. So it will just remove that line from the resulting HTML file at the end. Sound functional? Yes, we do have sound. Is device manager free of errors? And it's going to pop up the device manager. There are a few points where it'll pop up an additional program. And again, this runs much faster when you're on a native machine. So device manager is free of errors. Only necessary programs to startup folders. It's going to open up both the local user and Windows Universal startup folders. And in this case, I want the Parallels toolbox. I'm going to leave that. And there's nothing in the local folder. Necessary programs? Yes. Now it's going to open up Windows Update, which, because of the virtual machine, kind of chugs here a little bit. It also automatically detects whether or not you're on Windows 7, 8, or 10, and then opens up the correct Windows Update. Again, not really tested on Windows 7, but I know it works now. I don't know how long it's going to stay that way. Go ahead and ask if Windows Update is completed. Yes, we'll lie for now. Microsoft Office or other productivity app functional and activated. I don't have Office on this, so I'm going to go ahead and cancel. Skip that line. Now, once again, it's going to open up all of the web browsers on the computer, and had I thought about this, I might have not gone through the QA because of how slow this is running, but it appears to be working fine right now. So it will open, this is Internet Explorer that we've got open, we got Edge back here, and I'm sure it's still planning on popping up Chrome and Firefox in its own due time. This is funny because Firefox has historically been much, much faster than Chrome lately in my experience, but I guess not on my virtual machine. Alright, all browsers updated, error-free, valid search, and free of unnecessary add-ons. These are the things you want to check. Also, I need to add a line in there about turning off notifications in Google Chrome and Firefox, particularly Google Chrome. I feel like half the customers that come into me, they complain about pop-ups on their machine, and it's because they clicked yes on receiving notifications on every fucking website they go to. So make sure you check the notifications when you're going through that as well. Antivirus up to date. Most machines have Windows Defender at this point. It's really more of an option as sales if they have an expired antivirus. Survey shortcut on the desktop. We do have a survey shortcut on the desktop. All customer reported witness errors. Yeah, I don't have any errors, so yeah, we've resolved them. All downloads. If you've downloaded anything, driver updaters, whatever, just make sure that you delete them, free up some disk space for the customer before they get the machine back. C drive been defragmented. This machine has a solid state hard drive in it, so we do not want to defrag those, so I'll go ahead and cancel. Service checkpoint been created. It's going to start up system restore again, and then we can see here that we do in fact have our checkpoint that we just made at the beginning of this video, so yes. Has the invoice been updated? Yes. Again, if you don't have an invoice, just click yes. It's fine. Customer supplied parts and accessories accounted for. Just make sure that everyone gets back anything they bring you. Upgrade parts, extra parts, flash drives, external hard drives. Just make sure all of that's accounted for. I like to put labels on everything when I work on computers and shops just to make sure that they get everything back. Backup software enabled and functional. I thought long and hard about making this an optional line with the cancel button because I feel like every computer should have backup running. However, this computer does not have any backup running, so I'll go ahead and cancel. Alright, then it pops up this, asking for additional notes. So let's just say, so I'll go ahead and put some notes in there, hit submit, and what that does is that's just going to add notes to the line. You'll see when we're done here. Ask for a technician's name. I am Steve. And it's going to go ahead and generate the HTML file there. Quality assurance file has been copied to the desktop. I like to place these two next to each other over here in the top right hand corner of the screen, just so they see the review and they see the quality assurance checklist, so they know that we did a good job. So you go ahead and open up the quality assurance checklist. We'll see if Firefox opens this here. Oh, actually kind of snappy now. So this is the generated QA checklist. And as you can see, my notes are here. My name is here. Boy Fakerston's name is up here, and his work order is also up here. And then, yeah, we have these nice little green check marks to make it look like we did lots and lots and lots of work. And really, it is important to actually go through and pay attention on the QA checklist. You don't ever want anyone coming back mad because something's missed. In this way, you know that as long as everyone's doing what they're supposed to be doing with the scripts, then they'll have everything done. So that's basically it for now. Obviously, there are some help files built in here as well, and we'll go over those at a later point. The help files are mostly about modifying the scripts to your own purposes. And again, these are all just HTA files, but they do have some good information here on how to actually modify things and get things working the way you'd like them to. So for now, that's actually it. I've got all of that done. And I do plan on trying to regularly release more videos. Next video is probably just going to be talking about myself updating code or beautifying code because some of the stuff is really ugly. I'm fairly new to this. I'm not a computer programmer by any stretch. I just know what works for me and other computer technicians. So that's it for now. See you around. See you around.